Greatness, excellence, motivation. Always be a gem.
To answer. But anyways,
welcome to this week's episode of Great Employees Matter, the podcast that focuses on lifting employees from being average to being great and works with employers to teach them how to nurture, advance, recognize, appreciate their most valuable asset, their employees. So thank you for being on the show this week. We have another great show lined up for you. And I'll tease you by saying that the name of the guest, the first name of the guest is Gem, just like Great Employees Matter. Gem Wiltshire is the managing director at Hollywood Access, Inc. And so therefore she has a breadth of experience both on the employer and employee side of the house. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Kobe. He'll do our regular introduction and we'll get the show started.
Yep, I'm Kobe and with Jimmy Bingham. And today we're missing our third wheel, which is Lloyd Dix. He's not with us today, but he's with us in spirit, and we'll try to do our best to give her some hard questions to answer. But anyways, thank you for joining us today. This is Great Employees Matter. We talk to people about their journey. We help people with their it's really a personal development program disguised as an employee program. So you can take everything with you from place to place. And we have a great guest for you today. Her name is Gem Wiltshire. And I want to welcome Gem Wiltshire. How are you doing today, Gem?
I am doing great and grateful. Thank you so much for having me on, Jimmy and Kobe. I'm so grateful to be here with you all.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to meet you. You are in the entertainment industry. You own, I think it's one business that has dual responsibilities.
Yes.
But you're an entrepreneur. You used to be an educator, and I kind of want to dive into that a little bit. But first, why don't you start by telling us a little bit about who you are and what you represent?
Okay, well, thank you so much for this opportunity again. So I've actually been an entrepreneur, small business owner for the last 20 years. And my company, Hollywood Access, Inc., it's been in business for almost 20 years, but I've been in the entertainment industry for 37 years. And I started shepherding my children's careers in the industry and managing their careers and getting them started on the journey of film, television, commercials, and music as well. My oldest, toured with Gladys Knight for 5 years as her special guest vocalist. Her name is Serena Henry. And my middle child did a big movie with the Olsen twins and Steve Guttenberg and Kirstie Alley called It Takes Two. And my son was a series regular. That means he was one of the stars in a show called Gideon's Crossing. So my journey in the entertainment industry started with me navigating this world of entertainment with my children who were ardently enthusiastic about being involved in the entertainment industry. And then fast forward, so that was, 37 years, right? That's how it started 37 years ago. And fast forward to 20 years ago, I started our company, Hollywood Access, Inc., with my business partner, Dr. Sabra. Outside of that, I worked in corporate America, was third in command in a company, and I also taught college for almost 10 years.
Wow, that's an impressive resume. And I do have a question for you. What inspired you to start Hollywood Access? What got you, like all your kids being involved in entertainment in different levels is impressive in itself. But what inspired you to go ahead and dive into that, especially if you're coming from corporate into the world of entertainment?
Yes. So I wanted to make sure that I had in-depth, intimate knowledge, broad span, expansive, comprehensive knowledge about the industry so that I could shepherd my children and navigate them through the industry. And in doing so, I became an industry professional. I was no longer just a mom of children in the industry. I got mentored by industry professionals, and I wanted in so that I could understand how to get this done the right way for my children. And in doing so, I had many other parents and adults asking me to help them to get started in the industry because they saw the results of what I was doing with my own children. You know, the 5 years with Gladys Knight, ending up at the White House and singing for President and Mrs. Clinton in a televised performance. And then 14 years with Smokey Robinson and 2 years with Donnie and Marie Osmond. And so, you know, that brought a lot of interest from other people to help them to get started in the industry.
Love it. So let me ask you this. Do you have a lot of employees?
Actually, before the pandemic, I had 22 employees. We had a big building, a 5,000 square foot building close to Summerlin. And then after the pandemic, well, not after, but when the pandemic happened, as you know, pretty much everyone had to close their buildings, you know, to stop spread of infection. And so we closed our building, but realized that our business is not a building. Our business is the service we provide. So we took we took our company online. And so with that, we do have 7 employees with our online business. The company's now online. It's been online since the pandemic, so since March of 2020.
Okay, so I'm just switching gears here because I love to talk to the employees that are out there today. I think our climate is very damaged and needs a lot of work and a lot of help on both sides, the employer side and the employee side. So many employees feel stuck or undervalued. What's the first step they can take to, you know, go in a better direction, in your opinion?
So, you know, if any employee feels stuck and undervalued, I think the first step, at least this is how I roll, and this is how I run my company. And this is how I was when I was an employee, because I worked in corporate America for over 20 years. Go to the person that you directly report to and let them know. Let them know. That's what I want from my employees, to let me know. Come to me. Don't go to another employee. Go to the horse. Get, you know, direct FaceTime and get it from the horse's mouth, and let the person who you're reporting to know how you're feeling, and lay out your assets and the value you bring to remind them. The employees are our most important resource.
Yeah. And so you talk about motivation a lot, right? And so when you talk, you talk about motivation and transformation, to be specific. Yes. And so how can employees begin transforming themselves without waiting for a promotion or a title?
Yes. So the work always begins with you. It's internal. Yes, it's internal work, and it's about working on you and getting you better, personal development of yourself, so that you can be unstoppable, okay? And no one can deny you. You could be unstoppable and undeniable, and then you can make a path for yourself. If that employer is not, you know, really hearing what you're saying to them and valuing what you're bringing to the table, when you're doing that internal work for yourself and doing that personal development in addition to the internal work, right? And growing and expanding who you are as a person and as a professional, now you become unstoppable, and you can have your exit strategy from that company, just like I did.
See, I love your answer, because we talk a lot about being able to, you know, our program is really a personal development program that's, you know, it's a personal development program for employees. So you take your strength with you wherever you go. So you may come into an environment where it's not a great environment. The employer's environment is not great. But guess what? You said it. You'll take that elsewhere because you know what your worth is if it starts from the inside. So I really love your answer. And with that, I'm going to give Jimmy a chance to talk. Jimmy?
Yeah, I'm going to go back to a couple of points. One, there is a delineation of the employees that report to you that work for Hollywood Access, and they have their routine, right? Their job responsibilities and the like. And then you have actors that are in your stable, right? That you place on film and throughout the entertainment industry and music, every place else. And so those are potentially two different types of individuals that require different types of motivation. So how do you talked about the personal responsibility of the employee, but how do you motivate your employees versus how do you keep the actors that are in your stable on track and make sure that they do the things that they need to do to posture them to get access to films and the like?
You know what, Jimmy, that is a great question. And I think the answer is the same for both.
Okay.
I really believe that. It's about that intrinsic motivation to get to your higher self, to get to your greatness. So the actor wants to get to their greatness. They want to book roles. The employee wants to get to their greatness. They want to elevate and get to the next level of being an employee, whether it's being a lead on a team and then a supervisor and then a manager and then a director and then all the way up to, if they feel that they would like to take their skill set to entrepreneurism and small business ownership, if that's how they're wired, if they're hardwired that way to own their own company, some people are hardwired that way and other people are okay about climbing that corporate ladder. And that's okay. We need both sets of people. And with the actors, they need to be intrinsically motivated and do all that is required for success so that they can get to that pinnacle of success, get on that TV show, get in that feature film, get in that movie, all of the access that we give to them and the opportunities that we give to them as we place our clients on TV shows and movies and commercials. I think it's the same set of skills and attributes and characteristics that one needs to get to their trajectory of greatness.
That's a great answer. Does Hollywood Access Inc. have a program internally then where you work with your actors and you take them aside and you have that type of education and training to help them achieve the most that they can achieve?
100%, Jimmy. I'm glad you asked because we do quite a bit with our clients that are actors. We don't only train them on the skill for acting. Acting is a highly technical skill. Acting is undergirded by technique. So we don't only train them for the skill of acting and the technique of acting because they have to have that. There's like no negotiation on that. There's no exception to that. That's a must. They must have the skill of acting in order to have a chance to book the roles with the opportunities that we give them access to in addition to the training. So they have to have that, but we also do mindset and mindfulness training with them. My business partner, Dr. Sabra, she is a subject matter expert in mindset and mindfulness. In fact, she also has a book on the market on mindset and mindfulness. And yes, that is where it all starts. Look, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So mindset is very, very important to success in this and that, in anything and everything. That's where the greatness and that's where the success starts. It's with the mindset.
Man, I just want to interrupt real quick, Jimmy, because I was thinking the same. I had a question regarding mindset. Let me look through my notes. I had a question regarding mindset, and you're answering all my questions ahead of time of me asking them, which is incredible. So I do believe that mindset is one of the main things that not only that plays, it's the centerpiece of everything about your life, in my opinion.
Yes.
It is the
Amen.
centerpiece. It will either it'll have you thinking half glass empty or half glass full.
There you go. There
It's
you go.
really
And
big,
if you
so.
think half a glass half full, but I'd also like to take that a step further, Kobe, and say that the glass is overflowing. Okay.
Oh yeah.
It
Yeah.
is not just half full, it is overflowing. Think abundance,
Oh wow, that's incredible.
and you will attract that to you.
I was going to step in and ask a Lloyd question.
Softball question.
A softball question
Okay.
regarding mindset. And so let's take a hypothetical. If we knew somebody who may have or may have not been ever referred to as the Japanese Brad Pitt, and he wanted to become an actor, and he doesn't have any acting experience other than his grade school, project. And
Lloyd, is
won't
that
tell
you?
This is Lloyd. Are you saying then that even with the right mindset, because they don't have the practical experience, that they're probably only fit for background work?
Yes, I am saying that. I'm saying that is one of the key ingredients to success in anything and everything. It just is. You need the other ingredients, okay? Don't get me wrong. But without that, if you don't think you can do something, you're right. You're not going to do it. But if you think you can and you get the right tools, the right training, the right opportunities, the access, because my film and television business is a relationship business. So you need all of these other appendages. You do. But if you have all of that, the right training, the right opportunities, the access, like we give to you at Hollywood Access, the relationships that we have, but you feel that you cannot do it, it's not going to happen, even with all of these other things that are coming to the table.
And see, that's who I talk to. I talk to those people. Like you're saying, if you feel like you can't do it, then it won't happen. What do you say to inspire a person like that to try other options, to figure it out, to not have that mindset? What do you say to that person?
Yes, personal development. Okay, you've got to listen. Listen.
Be coachable is what you're saying. You got to be coachable.
Yes, and we're the average of the 5 people we hang around with the most. So if those 5 people are just average, well, we're going to be average. But if those 5 people are above average to excellent, it's going to propel us no matter what. Even if we don't want to become great, we're going to be great because influence is powerful. And you know why influence is so powerful? Because it's so subtle. And it just happens and you don't even realize it's happening. And that works for things that are good, things that are okay, things that are average, and then things that are great. It works for all of it. And so, yeah, personal development. Start listening to things that are going to ignite a fire under you and get you, to being desirous of success and of greatness. Listen to those things, read those things. Even when you're up in the morning brushing your teeth, just listen and have it seeping into your consciousness at night before you go to sleep. Make that the last thing. I'm not trying to impose my spirituality on anyone, but I pray and I listen to something that's uplifting and inspiring and empowering and motivational before I go to sleep, so that the stuff that I pray about and the stuff that I listen to right before I fall asleep, it'll seep into my consciousness. And in the morning, I rinse and repeat. I do the same thing so that in the morning, as I listen to empowering, motivating, inspiring, uplifting messages, whether it's an audio or something on YouTube, I don't have to watch the stuff on, I don't have to look at it. I just have to hear it. And it armors me and it gets me ready to do battle with whatever comes at me today. I am ready.
And you start early in the morning, fortify the day.
Yes.
I love it.
Yep. And I get myself fortified. Yes, early.
And it sounds like you would agree with us then that visualization is a strong part of anything that anybody does.
Indeed.
Right.
100%.
How do you feel about everything you're talking about is powerful, personal development, mindset. How do you feel the importance of mentorship fits into that category or that space?
Yes, I think that's key. Look, I had to be mentored in order to get to my greatness. And I think mentorship, or I should say the right mentorship, is really, really a powerful tool to get you to your trajectory, if I could speak this morning, trajectory of greatness. It's important that, you have a subject matter expert, an SME, that can help you in this space that you're trying to go to. They've already gone through any errors or mistakes, and so they can help to fast track you because they've already, gone through the challenges and the hurdles, and they can guard you against going to certain challenges, through challenges and hurdles. So yes, the short answer to the question is, mentorship, I think, is key. And let me give the caveat of the right mentorship.
Oh, the right mentorship. Yeah, that's important.
Yes.
And you have, it's clear to me that your passion is founded in your faith. I see that and hear that in the way that you speak. So presuming that that's a fact, how much of your life in the corporate world and as a college level teacher has contributed to the passion that you already had from your faithful upbringing?
Yes. So, and thank you for recognizing that. And I make no apologies and no excuses about my passion being founded and grounded in faith. It's important to me that I stay that way, and that I know that, not to take this into a religious type of conversation, but since you brought it up, I know that God is my source, that, that is my higher power, and that's who my source is. That's who gives me provision, not my clients, not my company. It's God, and he uses these various vehicles.
You're the vessel.
Yes, there you go, as the tools. So yeah, with the corporate America and with teaching college for almost 10 years, yes, that has definitely added, to my arsenal of becoming successful. So yes.
And why Las Vegas? Why did you set up Hollywood Access here in Las Vegas?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Why did you choose to have your corporate office here in Vegas?
That is a great question, and a lot of people ask me that. So here's the real answer, and it's what I tell everyone. The real answer is this. I came from New York, a huge and ginormous city. And we came here to Las Vegas because Gladys Knight, my daughter, was her special guest vocalist. Gladys Knight lives here in Las Vegas. My daughter, who was 11 years old at the time, We didn't know Gladys Knight. We met her. My daughter sang for her. Gladys Knight said, wow, I want to take her on tour with me. And what my daughter did with Gladys Knight, she did a solo, and she and Gladys Knight did a duet. That was the spot, the 10-minute spot my daughter had on Gladys Knight's show. And so Gladys said, but you know what, Gem, you're just living too far away in New York. You got to move to Vegas. This Gladys Knight lives here in Vegas. And so I prayed about it, and I rolled that proverbial dice, and I moved to Vegas, 3 children in tow, single mom, and I moved to Vegas. With that said, when I started my company, I did not want to go to Los Angeles to start it because I had moved from a very big city already. Okay, New York is ginormous. Okay, big. And so is Los Angeles. And that is the reason I said, I'm just going to set up shop here in Vegas. It is, the pace is much slower. It's calmer. I think I added 10 years to my life coming out of New York and just staying in Vegas and not moving to LA.
That's promising for me because I just moved out here. I moved out here right before the pandemic started. I mean, it was months, and like everything shut down for you, everything shut down for me too. Yes. Right? It was I came out here to do film with my partner, and that got sidetracked, and we were lucky enough to get another opportunity out here post COVID. But yeah, I think I'm adding life on to my life now. I didn't think so the first year because it was so hot.
Yes.
But this year was a better year.
Yes. Well, welcome to Vegas. Now, having been here 5 years, I hope you're enjoying it here. I mean, I've been here 30 years. Obviously, I'm enjoying it. I haven't left.
I enjoy it here, and it's been phenomenal for me business-wise. I met my business partner, Jimmy, and some other people. Nice. Shout out Bonafide 100 and John Johnson with Studio Talk. These guys are my clients, and so it's been great out here in Vegas. So I have a question for you regarding, you grew up in New York, yes, and been here for 30 years.
Yes. In Vegas, yeah.
Those are 2 different type of places, right?
For sure.
So how does that shape you, who you are right now?
Well, you know what? That's a great question. I feel that who we are was already formed by the time we're 7 years old, and then we either add to it or subtract from it. Hopefully we add to it, right? And so
so that big dedicated, it ain't where you're from, it's where you're at.
Amen. So with that said, let me tell you, New York gave me my grit. I got my grit from New York, and I would not trade that. Okay? New York gave me my stamina, my stature, okay? My ability to sit at any table. I've talked with presidents, of the United States and first ladies and in business meetings. And I think that's my New York upbringing, man. Okay, yeah. It's fearless. All right, it's fearless, and I would not trade that for anything. I lived in New York for like 25 years. I wouldn't trade it, man. And so one of the roles that I had when I lived in New York, being third in command in a company, the company was getting some federal funding, and so with that, I had to speak with First Lady Barbara Bush in a meeting in my office, me one-on-one with her, Nice. And so, but New York has primed and prepped me to do that with anyone, because to me, in my world, there are no big I's and little U's. Mm-hmm. No big I's and little U's. So it doesn't matter who they are. It matters who I am and what I can bring to the table. So I create space, seats at tables, or in some cases I go and I make my own table.
Man, I love that.
Yeah,
I do too. With that, we need to take a short break from one of our sponsors. And when we come back, we will talk a little bit more about entrepreneurship.
Awesome.
Today's show is brought to you by the Podcast Excellence Academy community. Whether you're starting your very first podcast or looking to grow and monetize an existing one, the PEA community gives you everything you need: weekly live trainings, step-by-step resources, and a supportive network of podcasters and business owners. Membership is just $20 a month, and it's packed with tools and strategies to help you succeed. Join today at podcastexcellenceacademy.com. Thanks again to the Podcast Excellence Academy community for supporting today's show. Welcome back to the episode. Thank you to our sponsors for taking care of us. So we're going to go into the entrepreneurship side. So Gem, I understand that you do more than just Hollywood access. What other types of things do you do from an entrepreneurial spirit that we should talk about today?
Yes. And so within Hollywood Access, Inc., which is my entrepreneurial endeavor for the last 20 years, I'm a small business owner. I am co-owner of Hollywood Access, Inc. Within that is the entrepreneurism. I have two divisions of that company. One division is I put kids, teens, and adults in speaking roles on the major platforms in Hollywood: Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, Disney, Nickelodeon, ABC, NBC, etc. So that's on the one hand. I do Hollywood. And so I have access to all of the roles that are cast in Hollywood on all of those major platforms. And so I put my clients on those projects, and I do it through a proven system that works. It includes professional training because acting is undergirded by technique. It's a highly technical skill that you need to be professionally trained for. And then once my clients are ready, they're right and ready from the training side of the Hollywood program. Then I give them access to my relationships. Okay, I have access to all of the roles that are cast in Hollywood. And then with access, you also have to have relationships, because with the access, you submit for the projects. And then with the relationships, that's where you convert the submission of your clients to auditions. So that's on the one hand. And as a result of that, I've put a lot of clients, including my own children, on major television shows and movies and commercials, including starring roles. I've gotten a lot of my clients' college tuition paid for through the work that I've done with them. Through projects that I've put them on. Some of my clients have gotten to gross over $1 million cumulatively with many projects that I put them on. So that's the one side of my company. The other side of my company is I help people add more life to their life by making money while they sleep. And I do this through e-commerce. And more specifically, in e-commerce, what I do specifically in the e-commerce space, I build, manage, and market Shopify stores for people in a done-for-you modality, a done-for-you business model. And so I work with small business owners and entrepreneurs who are worried about cash flow. They have sometimes cash flow challenges as a small business owner and as an entrepreneur. So I set up the Shopify stores for them where they're getting monthly income from those stores, and it's passive. They're making this money while they sleep. It's passive income, so that when they have cash flow problems over here with their core business, the money over here from their e-commerce business is covering their operating costs of their core business. So that's one type of client that I have in my e-commerce side of my company. The other type of client they're retirees and pre-retirees who are afraid that they don't have enough money to live on, that they're going to outlive the money that they have. They won't have enough money to live out the rest of their lives because Social Security doesn't cover it, and they don't want to have to downsize their lives. So pre-retirees and retirees are another faction of my client base, in addition to small business owners and entrepreneurs. And then the other type of client I have are people who have money, people who are very liquid, but they want to grow that money. And so they come to me and I grow it over here with e-commerce. I believe in multiple streams of income. And so those people who are very liquid, who come to me, they too also believe in multiple streams of income.
That's fabulous. And the fact that you were able to add that as an adjunct to what you were doing through Hollywood Access is amazing. So I'll ask, will it be okay then for our business clients that need some e-commerce help if we can send them your way to do the Shopify? And also to let you know that we're working on a program. One of my monikers is Boomer Bing, and I do work in the Boomer, specifically with the Boomer generation. And so we have a program that we're in the midst of developing, and we would love to add you to that as well. So you can talk to those retirees and pre-retirees and do some financial planning and have some foresight as to how they can fulfill the latter part of their lives.
It was funny watching his mind light up as you were talking, and he was writing down notes, FYI, because we probably have a lot to talk
With
about.
big
More
stars.
than this. Yeah.
Absolutely. And you know, in the e-commerce space, you do need SMEs, subject matter experts. And we are, because our team comes from BBDO. And if you Google BBDO, they are the #1 advertising agency in the world. And the 2 leads from our team come from there. And so they're subject matter experts in advertising and in e-commerce. And so we're very blessed, and I'm going to count that as a blessing, that we know our team leaders for our e-commerce business, and that they have joined us as the leads for our e-commerce business because they are subject matter experts. E-commerce is a very, very specific industry, and you really have to have subject matter experts for it. Quick story, the way that we added this part to our company, this passive income, making money while you sleep part through e-commerce to our company. Here's how it happened. So we have clients on the Hollywood side that we've gotten to $1 million or more. Some of them have gotten to 600,000, 700,000 or more in projects we've put them in. So they've gotten to a nice amount of money, okay? But they were not used to making that type of money, and they didn't know what to do with it. And they were blowing it and blowing through it. And we're like, no. You don't go and buy Gucci purses and Louis Vuitton bags and 5 Ray-Bans and 7 Nike sneakers. No, that's not what you do with the money. Okay, if you want 1 Nike sneaker, okay, but not 10, not 5, not 10 Ray-Ban glasses. You need to reinvest that money and reinvent yourself. You need to grow some of that money. And so that's what made us start this second part, this second division of our company. It was what we were seeing that was happening with our clients. We're like, you don't get it. Your show may not go to next season. It may be canceled. And that money, money's not a spigot that just keeps going. You know, it's finite. The show will end at some point. What are you doing? And so since they didn't know what to do, we created this division in our company to help them. And so we have expanded that division, not just for our actors who are making serious money, but for small business owners, which actors are small businesses,
Right.
small business owners and entrepreneurs who struggle with cash flow, that becomes a challenge. For retirees and pre-retirees who we know are worried about having enough money to live out the rest of their lives. And we've also opened it up to people who are very liquid, who understand multiple streams of income, and they want to grow their money.
You should expand that into the athletic world too, and take all these athletes that have no idea what to do with their newfound wealth.
You are 100% correct. I would love to gain access to athletes to help them. Yes,
I think I have an access point for you, so we'll talk about that later too.
Oh, wonderful! Because year 3, these athletes are broke, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, no, we have some pretty solid connections. So yeah, we'll talk about that down the road too. This is a great segue though into the portion of our show that we call shameless self-promotion. So if you don't mind, can you share with our audience everything that you would like them to know about you as far as contacting you? If they have questions about Hollywood Access, if they have questions about what we refer to as mailbox income. So if you would share with us your website, your contact information, that'd be fabulous.
It's all about you right now.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Thank you both so much. So there are several ways that you can get a hold of us. The website is HollywoodAccessInc.com. So Hollywood and then Access, ACCESS, Inc.com. That's our website. On the landing page, there you will see an interest form. It's like an audition application, and it's very short. Okay, and then you just fill that out. It's like 3 questions on there, and then we will contact you and schedule a time to meet with you on Zoom. The other way is you can call 702-429-7487. That's 702-429-7487. And another way is you can hit us up on social media. Our social media handle is at Hollywood. Now let me give you the rest of it. I have to spell it out because it's a little play on the word access. That's the social media, different than the website. So again, the website is HollywoodAccessInc.com. Just intuitively the way it sounds, Hollywood, ACCESSINC.com. Our social media handles is at Hollywood, A like Apple, X like X-ray, S like Sam, INC. That's the social media handles, okay? So any one of those modes is how you can get a hold of us. I'd love to hear from you. Love to be able to help you.
Fabulous.
Awesome.
Kobe?
Yeah, I actually have a couple of more questions before we wind down here.
And I have one.
Okay, good. So I'm still in teaching. So what if someone wanted to take a life lesson away from today of you teaching, mainly our employees, but it's really everybody, what would you give them advice to give them? We already gave them mindset. What would you give them as far as something to take away from today?
Yes, I have a few things, okay, because I've been an educator for probably almost my whole adult life, okay? I taught 6th grade in special ed. In the 1980s and the 1990s, I taught college for almost 10 years. And then now I'm teaching my clients, acting and how to master acting. And then my business partner teaches them the mindset and the mindfulness. So what I would say as some of the key takeaways is there's one thing that every successful person does, and that is they get started. Nike says, just do it, get started. Whatever that is, whatever that dream and that hope and that goal and that aspiration is, just get started. That's how, and then fix it as you go. Don't let perfect stand in the way of good. Just get it started and then fine tune it and take it to mastery. Because to me, there's no such thing as perfect. So just take it to mastery, but get started. Okay. And then also know that you have greatness inside of you. Lean into that and know, like you know, like you know, like you know, that you have greatness inside of you. And whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So please think that you can and be right about that.
Fabulous. Great. Mine was more of a Lloyd question, I guess. So you had mentioned that you had done some work with Netflix. Have you spent any time with Ted Sarandos?
No, I haven't. I put my clients on these platforms. So I get access to all of these projects on Netflix, on Hulu, on Prime, on ABC. Remember, I've been in the industry 37 years, so I have access, okay? Our industry is an industry of access, and it's an industry of relationships. So I get the projects, for Netflix projects, Hulu, Prime, ABC, Disney, Nickelodeon, FX, BET, the CW, Hallmark, Lifetime, HBO Max, Showtime, Disney, Nickelodeon. I get them all. And so I submit my clients who are right for those roles in these projects on these platforms, and they're all speaking roles. They're the principal roles, all the way from the starring roles of these projects all the way down, but they're all speaking roles, all the way down to the supporting roles. But they're all speaking roles. I don't do the background and extra work. And I'm not being snooty. There's nothing wrong with background and extra work. It's just that that's not the lane that I'm in. My company, the lane that we're in is building careers and building resumes. And so unfortunately, you don't do that with background work. So that's why we don't do background work. We do the principal roles and major roles, starring roles, all the way down to supporting. All right. And so, And so once I submit my talent to these projects that I have access to on these major platforms, then I go behind the submission, and that's where the relationships come in. I go behind the submissions and do pitches to my relationships, my contacts in Hollywood, and I get the auditions for my clients.
Got it. I'm sure you do a fabulous job of that. The path I was going down there was, I think Ted's a great guy himself. But his wife, Nicole Avant, talk about a power couple in the industry, but just wonderful, wonderful people. And I didn't know, because you had mentioned that you had been in a room with Barbara Bush, if you might have been in a room with Nicole as well.
I've been in the room with Barbara Bush and President Clinton and First Lady Hillary Clinton. Met Barack Obama, but I have not been in the room with Ted.
Yeah.
Not
yet. Try to spend some time with Ted and Nicole. You'll have a great time. So I want to thank you so much.
Do you have an access point to Ted for me?
I just may.
Okay, let's talk.
I can't say that on the show, so I was trying to get around that a little bit.
Jimmy is really resourceful. Like his statement about being called the Asian Brad Pitt.
I love that. I love that. That's great.
Anyway, this has been a fabulous show. As you know, we are Great Employees Matter, so we always look for gems. And you dropped a lot of gems on us today. I don't have them all listed, but amongst them are: the work begins with you, be unstoppable and be undeniable. There are no big I's and little U's. I love that one. The glass is overflowing. And don't let perfect stand in the way of good. So I'm sure there are many more that I didn't write down, but thank you for those 5 gems. Our audience thanks you. We hope that you'll be back on our show again someday. And with that, I'll turn it over to Kobe.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I really enjoyed your presence, your energy. I have even since the first time we met. I think your principles are right on the money. I love your experience and what you bring, and I hope that we're able to get you up here to our studio, even if it's just to brainstorm and talk, because I think that we have a lot of collaborating that we could do as a team and help affect the environment in a better way. And with that being said, do you have anything that you want to say? Any last things you want to say to our audience?
Yes, to the audience and also to you wonderful, lovely gentlemen. So to the audience, just go after what it is that you want with fervor and have a great appetite for getting what you want. Have a thirst and a hunger, and let that ignite and light a fire under you to get to your greatness. You can do it. I believe in you, and I pray that you believe in you even more than I believe in you. And to you wonderful gentlemen, Jimmy and Kobe, you are amazing. I thank you for what you are doing and for the impact and the footprint and the imprint that you are making in helping to transform people's lives. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
On the show.
Thank you. And with that, it's been another great show. This is Great Employees Matter every Tuesday, 2:00. Come check us out. We're improving. We're getting better. We're growing. Come support us. Come share. And come give us your ideas. If you want to be on the show, you can hit me up at Kobe, Koby, at Great Employees Matter. And we'll see you next week. Always be a gem.
Thank you, everybody.